Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day to the second of the series, Life is Unfair. So when the child tells you, that's so unfair, I do understand that life is unfair. And if there's anyone that understands it, it's me. I've seen it all too often in the most painful ways throughout history, within communities, within families, and even in my own personal life. I will get to it. That's the second part of the series that I will talk about how to deal with life that's unfair, that's out of our control. But if I have the power over a child or over a student, I need to use my best judgment to make sure that this is fair. Only because I am their caretaker or their teacher, I cannot take advantage of that position and abuse. That is abuse. Abuse doesn't have to mean hitting someone or yelling someone or making fun of someone. Sometimes abuse is simply using your children. Of course, there's a time when a child, for example, helps a parent and is encouraged to be helpful and is encouraged to be kind. Yet there's some times that we are freaking, let me say it the way it is, darn lazy. And we cannot get our rear ends up to get something. As a result, we are blessed. We are blessed. No, we are blessed. We're blessed to have dogs. Oh, okay, you just ran away. All right. Yeah, it's nice to put your dog on a leash, young people. Sorry. We are blessed to have children, and now that I am lazy, and since I am their boss, and since I'm superior and 5 times their size, what I will do is I will tell them and command them to bring what I need, not because they have to, because I am simply darn lazy. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking what most of us think, but that's what your parents did and your grandparents did. But to make it easier to understand and to put things in perspective in this very new way of looking at this concept of not abusing your parental or teacher's power, is if you're an employee and your employer that just gave you a beautiful salary of $95,000, and they're allowed to ask you to do whatever is reasonable within your job description, and they call you from your office and you're engrossed in a very important task, and they tell you, because they are your superior, they're almost like your parent or teacher, and you're reliant on their salary. You are reliant on what they give you. And the paycheck bi-weekly. And they say, could you please go to the kitchen and get me some milk for my coffee? You begrudgingly go ahead and you do it because you don't want to get on his or her backside. But deep in your heart, you know that what you're doing is absolutely wrong. Of course, if there's a relationship and there's a spouse or there's a friendship or there's a lover, we all help each other, and even if they're lazy. That's a beautiful thing. You ask me, I ask you, I help you, you help me, and the love bounces back and forth. But that's not out of love. That's not out of a relationship. Unless there is that type of relationship, then it's another story. But that's abuse of power. Where the guy feels like, or the gal feels like, hey, I'm giving them a salary of $95,000. I gave them a comfortable office, beautiful situation, and I give them free coffee, and I give them this and that, yeah. So I could then, at any given time, ask them for my needs because I'm lazy, or I just want to feel superior. Because when I was a kid, my parents never made me feel good. Now, finally, I have a company. I could boss around my employees and tell them to get me this and get me that. You know deep down, it isn't correct. Yet, we don't even think twice, and we do things like that or very similar stuff without thinking to our dear children. I will put this together next week because I like to keep these videos under 5 minutes, although sometimes there's 7 minutes. If you liked it, yes, thank you. Thumbs up to the video if you liked it, and 5 times thumbs up to the guy or the gal you see in the mirror. And please always do remember that you are way greater than you think you are.